Okay.
Would you like me to read it to you? I'm not going to read all of it. But so, teaching mixed ability violin groups. Balancing the pieces that you play in group. The Suzuki Ideal is a group lesson with children who span one book's worth of pieces, except for book one, which should be pre-twinkles, then early book one, and then to the end of book one. And sometimes we have 3 groups. So if we kind of remember that book one used to be 2 books, and pre-twinkle is its own kind of whole thing, I think what's ideal, certainly what we do here and what most groups I know of, especially in London, because there's enough teachers and enough students to make this work, is to have a pre-twinkle group up to maybe Song of the Wind, and then sort of go Tal Rodi to Etude-ish or Allegretto and Antino, and then from the Etude to the end of the book. But then, you know, I know my very illustrious and wonderful friend Margaret Parkin, who is the head of the teacher training BSMA course in London. She used to teach in Exeter, and so it was all just her students, and there were only like 20 of them from pre-twinkle up to book 10. So she used to have like pre-twinkle to book 2, book 3 to book 5, and then book 6 to book 10.
Wow.
So it's possible to teach really well, brilliant groups that are a vast range, but it takes a lot more planning and a lot more skill. So, when this doesn't work, it can be good to have kids on the minuets or higher join the book 2 group instead of staying in the book 1 group, but each option has pros and cons. The less advanced students are highly motivated by having peers in their group who can play pieces that they haven't learnt yet. The more advanced students in turn enjoy being seen as advanced, but also get lots of opportunity for a review. The students in the middle get a little bit of both. It's worth pointing these benefits out to your group and their parents, as often they don't recognise that each position within a group has great advantages. They assume that it would be ideal to have every child on the same piece. And this is not the Suzuki Ideal, yeah? So it's really important, and I think generally it's really important, and it's something that all of us struggle with, to talk to the parents. Just every time you do something in a group, once you've done a little activity, just say a couple of sentences even to the parents about what you've done, or about, you know, listening, or about review, or about ideal group scenario, you know, and also that will get them out of their phones for a minute and back in the room. And make it worth them paying attention, because, you know, most of them don't feel that they need to sit there watching completely rapt as their children scrape through busy stuff. So, when choosing what to work on within each group, 40 minutes at Suzuki Hub, this is a good basic plan. So a warm-up, something everyone can play or easily join in with, approximately 5 minutes. The main lesson activity, so either polishing a particular piece, which we haven't really talked very much about, and we've got a session coming up on preparing for performance, so we'll talk more about that then. Or, where am I? Choosing a particular technical point. So this should be something that not every child can play fully, but they can improve at whatever level they're at. For example, if you have a book 1 group, you might choose one of the activities below and make sure the students who are playing with fingers are improving their playing, but that the students who are doing bowing or finger exercises are also engaged and seeing an improvement on what they're working on. It's really easy in group lessons to teach to the bottom of the class. So, like for example, if you have a group from, let's say, lightly row up to Allegretto, that you don't have the confidence to work on pieces that are not beyond lightly row, because then that child is not playing the whole piece. But it's really important not to do that, because it makes the more advanced students really disgruntled that they're not doing anything. It removes half of the benefits of the mixed ability group, because it's like pretending that everyone's at that basic level. And also we have to think outside the box in terms of what exercises we can offer a child on lightly row that will eventually help them with all the way up to Allegretto. And there are lots of things that we can do, which we're talking about now. About 20 to 25 minutes. And then solos, 1 or 2 students each week should perform their solo, and then some students should be invited to share their positive comments about what they liked. You can also ask parents for positive comments if you like, and that will be very short in a book 1 group. And then advanced piece, play a piece that only a few students at the top of the group can play. This keeps them motivated to come to group and makes them feel recognised for being further on than some of the others. You can choose whatever whether you give the non-playing students an activity or not, sometimes they will be happy just to sit and listen, other times they will need an activity, 5 minutes.
What kind of activity?
So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Final piece, something everyone can play or easily join in with, 5 minutes. So this structure for groups will keep your students at each level within the range happy. It's very easy to teach to the bottom of the group, but that does not offer all the benefits we should be offering and makes more advanced students feel disgruntled. If you are teaching to the bottom of the group, you will find a lot of parents who think their child is in the wrong group when they're not. This happens all the time. Like, they will say, we're doing too much work on Twinkles, my child can play Maison, they need to move up. And I'm like, well, the next group is from Minuet 1, so they don't need to move up, and why is it helpful to play lots of Twinkles? And then you have that conversation with them. Thoughts to consider. Have a focus for each term's group lessons. I don't think that really applies at pre-Twinkle level. Like, the focus is just how do we play the violin. Plan the term's group lessons so you know what you will focus on, which activities you want to include, and what your learning outcomes will be. So, for example, we're working on dynamics at the moment. They're all playing mezzo forte all the time. We're going to go through being able to play an echo, through to having some students who can follow advanced crescendos and diminuendos, and we could do that work on easier pieces even though they don't happen in those pieces. And then some of the students will also be able to put them into, say, minuets. Don't be afraid to play pieces that lots of the kids in the group can't play yet, but do have activities in mind for the non-playing students to do.
Just a question. So the level group is from Go Talent already to Etude? That's all.
It depends what you get.
Okay.
But
Sorry, the beginners one from Twinkle to Song of the Wind, right?
Roughly. I mean, we've had beginner groups up to Maison.
Okay.
I think it does get quite tricky once you've got further than that. But for example, well, one of the things that this then goes on to talk about is all these pieces and what you can do with them. But, you know, for example, if you've got some kids on Lightly Row and some kids up to there, they can learn, the pre-twinkles can just learn how to do those fast bow strokes. And the ones who can play with fingers a little bit can play 3, 3, E, wait, 3, 3, 2, 2, and then some of them will be able to learn 1, 1, E, A, 1, 1, E, even if they're on Go Talent Roadie. Very much depends on how those children learn, like how confident they are to have a go at something new, all of those kind of things. But it's not, if you have a group that, for example, went up to Allegro, that doesn't mean you would just do Twinkles all the time. Which is the like temptation, yeah.
I was just wondering, because when I was thinking I was going to have to do a whole group set, which I'm glad I haven't, I was thinking, because Joe was teaching harmonies really quickly to stuff, and I was wondering, is that an option? Would you recommend that? And how quickly does the average child learn a simple harmony? Or is that too vague a question?
I think that they can learn harmonies by the time they're at the end of book 1. They can learn like the second part to Twinkle, the one that goes. But I think if you're talking about the first half of book 1, which is this group you've got, then not really.
You can't really teach them anything new.
You can teach them a song that's not a Suzuki song, sure, but not a harmony. Because the thing about harmonies as well is when you put it together, you can only play one part at a time. So how you help the kids who learn something. So harmony parts are tricky because they haven't heard them. They'll want to play the tune they know off the recording. And then if you're leading them, you can't be leading them the main part, and vice versa.
Okay.
So it's possible. Everything, basically, there's nothing that's impossible in a group situation, but there are things that are more challenging for you as the teacher.
Maybe I need to run before I can, walk before I can, and then maybe I'll get to it. But yeah, maybe, as you say, the later group.
Yeah, I think so. But also, if you're going to do 10-15 minutes, and also for this, just practice your Suzuki group. Don't get involved in something else.
Yeah, no, that was when I thought I was going to be doing a whole. No, that's.
But I mean, even if you were.
Yeah.
But no, you're not.
Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't clear about that.
That's fine.
So, technical skills you might develop during a term or half term. Playing in true unison. Tone, intonation, dynamics, staccato bow stroke, legato bow strokes. This is basically what we did on Zoom a couple of weeks ago, isn't it? When you were on Zoom,
Mm.
it's like going through all these things that we can do. Retakes, accents, lifted bow strokes, like retakes at this level. Up bow staccato later. Understanding structure, phrasing and musicality, specific keys or finger patterns, fast pieces, slow pieces, dance-like pieces. That doesn't work so well if you've just got to book one group because there are just 3 of them. Pizzicato, ditto, 2 notes in the whole of book 1. Double stops and chords, not appropriate for this level. Shifting, duets, vibrato, so that's all the more advanced stuff. And then general ideas, so these are the things that you can do with your students who can't play the pieces with fingers yet. Bowing the rhythm in the air, showing dynamics with body movements, showing dynamics by standing behind a player. Right, so let's do this because this is something that we practiced. You two practiced it, didn't you? Yeah, so will you practice it with Sarah? So we're not, yeah, let's play. Let's play Go to Heartbreaking. So, Sarah, you're going to play. Jackie, you're going to be my partner. Do you remember what we're doing? Could you practice describing it to Sarah?
When it's quiet, when it's quiet, it's lighter. When it's getting louder, you also come to me and I also come to you.
Yeah.
And we basically push each other, it's getting
Yeah.
louder and getting quieter. You leave yourself
Okay.
to the front and I leave, like that.
Okay.
Great.
And who
Go to
initiates
Heartbreaking.
it? Do we both initiate?
Both, yeah. And if you have more students who can't play it, then you can put some children together who neither of them play, and they can push them.
Oh, okay.
And be like this one. Lovely. And let's just play the first bit of Minuet 2 because then you can feel how you could do it for phrasing.
I can't remember what the dynamics are.
Just let's have a try. Yeah. It's nice, isn't it?
It's really nice, actually. I bet they get really silly with it, though, don't they? Falling over
Yeah,
and
they're
stuff.
children. It's fine
Yeah.
for them to get silly.
Yeah.
Then you do something else.
Yeah.
Don't get too much. Conducting, tapping the beat, tapping the rhythm, walking the beat, walking the rhythm. That's very hard. Walking the rhythm.
Yeah.
It works mostly best in things that like have repetitive rhythm. So like Allegro, long, long ago. Very difficult on I Come Little Children, May Song. Playing inspectors. So the kids who aren't playing walk around in pairs with the playing child and watch for one thing staying perfect, e.g. running position. This is written for everyone at the Hub. Bow hold, etc. If the technique they're working on goes wrong, so for example you might say, right, I want you to check the bow holds. You're looking for perfect bow holds while we play whatever piece. And so then if the child watching a playing child sees that this child has done this, they would go, and the child would go, oh, and then they fix it again.
Is it foot position? It says flute position.
It's because this is written for everyone at the Hub, so it includes other instruments.
Oh,
But it could be whatever you want them to
Oh, right. Yeah.
do. Playing the tonic on the beat with short notes, so you can play. Or plucking. Air violin, cello, viola, flute. Air violin, I think, is actually underrated in how useful it is. I think Like bowing in the air is obviously another useful thing, but if they're just starting to learn a piece, for example, they're just starting to learn Lively Row, they can't keep up, they're going to get really frustrated if they're trying to play at this tempo. And, you know, it's group class, so you want to play it. So if you say to them, you know, it's going to go too fast, but just do it in the air and see, like, how many times you can get your 2 to go down when it's the right time. Some of them will just... but some of them will actually, you know, get something out of that.
With no violin or a violin with no
No violin, nothing. Yeah. Hands up every time you hit the tonic, or a top note, or a retake, or, you know, anything you want. Singing along or humming if you don't have words to the song. Appreciative audience. Non-playing children sit and watch as they would in a concert, looking for something good to say either about a specific child or the group as a whole. After the piece is finished, each non-playing child tells everyone what they liked. And then maybe more advanced kids leading less advanced pieces. So while the leader plays, either it's advanced student or teacher, children walk around in rest position. When the music stops, the group gets into group concert formation with reference to where the teacher is. Students need to ensure they're not standing in front of someone shorter than them and have enough space to play. And then take a bow and work together. That's a focus. Sorry, I missed the focusing the group thing. Okay, so book 1 activity. So this is really the bit that I want to kind of run through. So we've done lots on how to include them in the course. Lightly Row, Song of the Wind. Did we cover Go Tell Aunt Rhodey? Well, there's not that much to do really.
But in Go Tell Aunt Rhodey will be mostly the echo thing, right? And actually, different both speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things we could, yeah.
So long ago, sing the song, bowing in the air. You can also, on any of those songs, ask the kids who are doing open strings to copy which string you're on. So grab your violins, let's do that. So none of you can play long ago with your fingers yet. Make sure you use the word yet. And what you're going to do is, Sarah, can you just go that way a bit? There you go, thank you. So you're going to copy which string I'm on, but put your fingers here. And then I'm going to give the introduction for everyone else in the group. So you're going to copy which string I'm on.
Oh,
So
okay.
if I go on to the E, you change. I know you're all dying to play the D string, but we're going to stop there. So why is that better than just bowing in the air?
Makes them concentrate. On
Good.
And they practice their string crossing as well.
Yep, but also
A different speed, both.
good and also
String crossing, she said, right?
yeah.
And also listening. Did they say?
Yeah, it's the right arm is doing exactly what they will do when they play the piece with fingers, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you meant by string crossing.
Yeah,
So
so.
they are literally doing half the piece,
Yeah.
even though it sounds really simple.
Yeah.
If they can do that, all they've got to do is work out the fingers. So Allegro, different activities, copying the rhythm on the E string, so they can just play the whole rhythm on E. Retake practice, just doing the bow circles on the A with the lead. So, Jackie, can you practice leading that for us? So they would be playing just the slow bow circles on A.
Yeah.
Let's all do it together. So it's a bit like the Song of the Wind thing. So if you are all just going to do the A retakes, I'm the teacher. they're pre-twinkle, for example. Oh, sorry, no. And then not retaking on the last one.
This because they don't play, right? So
Yeah, they're not
so
doing the
fast.
fingers yet. And then you have this option. So if they are practicing their fingers a little bit, they can play. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. And then you can put those two together. So for some concerts maybe, even if they can't play the whole piece, they would play. And then they might be able to learn all of this line or none of it at all, or just the one and the last one. So let's do the last option. Ready on one? E3 ready? Yay! And then they've played like half of Allegro, even if they're only on twinkles. Or they can do the Allegro song.
The Allegro song? Singing.
Yeah. So the one I grew up with is heads, heads, ears, oh, heads, heads, knees, knees.
Is it here ears?
No, ears. Sorry, there's a typo there.
Do they do it with their actions then?
Yeah.
Well, that's really good. I like the other one, the pajamas one.
It's fun, isn't it? Wake up, let's sing it.
So
Ready, go. Wake up, shake up, take off your pajamas, eat your breakfast, time to go to school. Wake up, shake up, take off your pajamas, eat your breakfast, time to go to school. I don't want to, I'm so sleepy, I just want to sleep some more. Wake up, shake up, take off your pajamas, eat your breakfast, time to go to school. This is so cute, right? I mean, I am with Ed Whiteman when I say we do not want words to every song in book one. This is not the method that we're teaching.
Yeah.
We are teaching to play by ear, so they should be able to sing the songs to la or hum them or whatever. But I do think, like, especially if you've got a concert, if you've got kids who've had 2 lessons and they can learn some cute words, it's much nicer than them just going la 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 la.
Yeah.
Or yeah, heads, heads, ears, ears, fingers on your shoulders, thumbs, thumbs, knees, knees, fingers on your toes.
Yeah, that knees is a bit weird, isn't it? 'Cause-
Thumbs is the
Yeah,
tummy.
I just wrote it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ears is better than the knees. Cause
Yeah, it's not supposed to be knees, it's
Oh,
just
I
a
see.
typo. I don't know why I
Oh,
wrote
right.
it there. It's completely incorrect. So, excuse me. Perpetual motion is another one that is really great for the little ones to join in on because they can play at the end of each phrase the E's and the A's. And then in the middle one, which doesn't end on E's and A's, they can still just do the same thing. So, I can't sing and play at the same time. A, A.
Oh, so
Oh, okay, got it.
So they just do the same thing all the way through, even though the structure doesn't continue quite like that. Dice game. Singing to the group, showing them numbers 1 to 6, relating to the different twinkle rhythms and theme. Just with the rhythm demonstration, ask if the kids know what the numbers refer to, then roll 1 dice and play as a group the same thing. That's terribly written, I'm sorry. So basically, if you have a die, you say, okay, so number 1 is, what is it on the recording? And then, so you go through them all and give them the numbers, and then you roll it and you say, okay, who can tell me what that is? And if they need a clue, you might go. And they might be able to work it out from that, and then you would play it.
I don't understand what you mean. What it means. Book 2 upwards, everyone rolls their dice and plays their relevant rhythm.
So
The rhythm of their
once they're advanced,
yeah.
well, advanced, once they've got into book 2, they should be able to hold the twinkle rhythms against each other. Probably not. Don't forget bread if you'd like some.
Oh, okay.
In the the front door.
Thank you. I will watch the rest, by the way.
Great. Can you take that back
Yes,
before you go?
yes, I will.
Thank you. Have a lovely week. So let's do that. We'll do that together. So don't imagine that you have thrown a number 4 because that's the triplets. But take your imaginary dice. Throw your number. What number did you get?
3.
Okay. What number did you get?
6.
Okay. I got number 2. No, 3. No, you're doing 3. Number 2. Okay. So then that's the rhythm that's the twinkle that we're going to play.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can't give an introduction because it's going to be the wrong one. You just say, okay, 1, 2, ready, play. I did totally the wrong timing, didn't I? 1, 2, ready, play.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot what I was going to do.
But 3 is that one, right? Sample me, sample.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I always get them mixed up and I thought this.
So then, make a sandwich, make a sandwich, make a sandwich. I like brown bread. Make a sandwich, make a sandwich, make a sandwich. I like white bread, and they can just sing that all the way through. But I don't. I've never used the words for that. It's not. Mostly they just play the E and the A.
Let's see.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice, great.
Do we have any more dates for teaching?
Teaching.
Because we do, it's 2 groups, and my next group is coming. But
Yes.
I did 3 lessons of it.
Yes. Let me turn this off, and we'll work that out now.
I forgot my diary, but I know that I went